Doing great. How are you?
Good. Great to chat with you. We got Mark Slaughter, singer for Slaughter, with us on the line. Big fan, Mark. Seen you so many times over the years, and good to have you with us to talk about, all things Slaughter and the new solo album, Halfway There. How's everything?
Everything's great, man. I'm just traveling around, just seeing the world and making music. I cannot complain.
That's great. Tell us about the new solo album now. It's been out for a little while now. It's released this year, Halfway There. This is your second solo album. What's it like doing the solo thing as opposed to recording with Slaughter?
Well, I'm wearing all the hats. I engineered it and recorded everything, played the guitar, wrote it, produced it. So it's like one of those things that at the end of the day, it's like, you're wearing a lot more hats, so you have to kind of answer yourself a little bit as opposed to having somebody who's objectively, saying, hey, why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? You just end up having to do that yourself. So I think it's the biggest challenge of it all. Other than that, it flows really easy.
Nice. Always good to see you guys live. Last show I caught a couple years back was at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. You play there often. A fun show at the Wolf Den. And so much energy. I mean, you still got Dana Strum with you on bass. You got Jeff Blando on guitar and Zoltan Chaney on drums. This guy is quite the entertainer behind the drum kit. I got to say.
Yeah, he's basically a carnival within himself.
Really, great description. That works perfect. That's exactly what he is. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to watch. And even you go out into the audience, you're singing along with the fans. I mean, just a great live show always, Mark.
Well, thank you. We're really lucky in this side that we've been able to do this for this many years. And again, I think at this point, I label us more as entertainers than I do, how everybody's like trying to figure out what they do. We entertain. We're that escapism, not pushing out political views or those type of thoughts. It's just to go and go to a concert and have a good time.
It's awesome. It's always fun. And an interesting thing about your band, Mark, you share a band with Vince Neil.
That is correct.
How did that all come about, and are you pretty close with Vince?
I'm tight with Vince. I mean, we're good. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things that, he works, I work. My band's doing double duty, and that's really when I started doing a lot of my solo stuff. Is I thought, half the year while they're doing Vince stuff, I might as well make music because they're not wanting to go in the studio, because they're too busy. So that's really when I started doing a lot of these solo things. Is just to make music, and again, an artist makes art. I think that's the key point with it all. I still like making music and still like doing it. So, it's a good thing.
Sure is. Well, back in the day, Mark, winning the American Music Award in 1991, favorite new artist, what was that feeling like for you and the guys?
It was pretty surreal. I mean, we were out on tour with Kiss at the time, and they said, hey, you guys should come to the show. And we're like, well, we're out on tour. And they said, no, you should go. And we said, okay. So we went to the show, and subsequently we won. And, it's really like one of those things you really don't think about. But, it was a great honor. Again, it's chosen by the fans. American Music Award is chosen by the fans and not a bunch of snub-nosed, people who, are just voting because they think that Jethro Tull's the biggest heavy metal group of all time.
Yes. Who could forget that moment, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's exactly that. I mean, look, it's crazy because, here we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Black Sabbath has been passed on 8 times,
right.
So it's like, we're looking at a lot of these acts that are just kind of, looked over. But the key point is with it is, look, we'd love to make music. We love where we came from, and we still like to take it out to the audience and to the masses.
Well, speaking of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I am a big fan of the 80s, 90s, quote, hair metal era. I mean, what's your opinion on the hair metal title? Have you embraced it over the years, or is it something you don't like?
Well, if I didn't have my hair, I'd probably have an issue with it, but I got all my hair, so I'm good there.
Nice.
So I mean, no, really, I think that's just a title. It's everybody has to call something a certain thing. And I'd rather be labeled, let's put it this way, I'd rather be a has-been than a never-been.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm happy with where I came from. And again, I still think we're really blessed in the side that we're able to do this all the time. We're still out there playing. We're still out there, I'm still out there making music, and my guys are still working double time. So, life is pretty good, just how you look at it.
Thoughts on Bon Jovi going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2018? Is that a good thing for the, quote, hair metal rockers? What do you think about them going in? Do they deserve it?
Here's the truth. In my opinion, I mean, this is my opinion, everybody's got one. Bon Jovi, in my opinion, was the first, what they would call a hair metal band.
Okay.
It was, they had songs. They went out there. They're good-looking guys. They did their thing. And, it filtered into pop, which is exactly what we did. I mean, we did the same thing. We were the last wave. Slaughter, in my opinion, was the very last wave of the whole, what they would call the hair metal scene.
Right.
And that's how I look at it. We were the very last ones before grunge kicked in. I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Fun times. I mean, you talked about touring with Kiss back in the day. I was going to ask you, favorite tour that Slaughter ever did. Would that rank among one of your favorite tours?
Well, I think it would rank in the side of it was a really good time. You really had a good time, and they were really kind to us. And, I really enjoyed that tour. It was a lot of fun. When you make memories like that, you always look at those things that you go, man, that was just so cool. It was a great summer. It's kind of like some summers are just brutally hot and this and that. That was just like a great summer. It was just great.
We're speaking with Mark Slaughter. He's got his new solo album out called Halfway There. You also sing on the Northern Light Orchestra. There's a song called The Night Before Christmas. You share this band with a bunch of other great musicians. Tell us about the Northern Light Orchestra.
Well, I was approached by a gentleman named Ken Mary, and I met Ken Mary many moons ago when I was in the Vinnie Vincent invasion. He was playing with an artist named Alice Cooper, and he went on to play with Freya, meaning Ken. Yep. And we stayed in touch. He continued to make music, continued to produce, and he kind of calls all his friends from the old school, that he's known, and kind of assembles these records. I've done several with him, and this is the first one that I really think is going, forward with radio and that side of it. But, it is great. I mean, Kip Winger's on it. Ken's on it. There's great Dave Ellefson from Megadeth. There's so many great artists on this record, and if you're looking for the Christmas spirit, it's certainly one of those downloads that sure puts you in the mood.
Yeah, got to check this out. You'll love this. Northern Light Orchestra, The Night Before Christmas, and as Mark said, great musicians on there with Mark. You mentioned Vinnie Vincent, the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, which I was a big fan of. Have you spoke with Vinnie in any recent years, or has it been forever?
It has been forever. I mean, the last time I saw Vinnie, I actually even saw him, was in 1988.
Wow.
Well, we walked off the stage. That was the very last time I saw him. And, he just he went into hiding, so to speak. We never saw him again.
Yeah, did you hear that he's going to be part of this Atlanta Kiss Expo in January? He's scheduled to be there.
That's what I hear. I hope that goes well, and I hope it goes well for them and for him. Look, he's a talented guy. I'd never take that away from him, and he should be making music. Could
you ever see talking with him again in the future?
Well, at this point, I mean, it's kind of like one of those things that we've all moved on. I talk to pretty much anybody. I don't have any enemies on that side of it, but I wish him well.
Mark Slaughter with us. Back to Reality was the last Slaughter album back in 1999. It's been a while. Will we ever get a new Slaughter album?
Well, if I can get these guys in the studio and away from playing with Vince all the time, then we'd be able to do that.
Right? Everybody's doing their own thing. I mean, that's why you have the solo thing, right? You got to be out there working.
Again, well, more so than working. I mean, look, nobody's getting rich by making records. I mean,
right.
Anybody who says, "Oh yeah, and I'm just like big money maker," da da da. It's not about that. It's about your art. You take your art forward and you continue to make art. Whether it sells a zillion or sells nothing. And I think that's really where I'm at. I'm not looking at art as the value of it, because value, just like in time, it becomes more valuable as time goes by.
Well, Mark, it's good to see you still doing your thing. As I said, big fan of the band, and getting to see you live with the band is always just a great night. Just a bunch of talented musicians. MarkSlaughter.com is the official website. You can get info on the new solo album, Halfway There, and you probably also have info about Northern Light Orchestra there as well.
Yeah, it's at EMP Label Group. It's also available on Amazon, iTunes, and all the typical ways of finding the music. If you want it, it's out there. But in the meantime, I wish everybody a very Merry Christmas or a happy holiday, whatever it is you're into. But this is a good time for family and friends, so let's all enjoy it.
Right back at you. Happy holidays, Mark, and I got to get out to another Slaughter show. Please come to upstate New York, maybe the Chance in Poughkeepsie, or we got Upstate Concert Hall in Clifton Park.
Absolutely. I know we're going to be playing Churning Stone as well, so we'll be up in that part. I know that's on our schedule already as well. So
great.
A lot of shows. We've already got 18 or 19 shows for next year, so it looks like it's going to be a real busy year for us.
Awesome. We'll keep an eye on the site. We'll try to make the Verona show then. That'll be cool. Have a Merry Christmas, Mark. Thanks for your time. Great chatting with you.
Hey, thank you so much, and keep the rock going. I appreciate your passion.
Thank you so much. All the best.
You too.
It's all the best.
You too.